Hello, everyone. I am going to start over already. No, I'm not. I'm just going to go with it. So, this is my podcast I really need to come up with a title for, but I haven't yet. For Wednesday, December 6th, 2017. And if you're wondering why my voice sounds so much better, at least I hope it does, no, it isn't your latest iOS 75 update. It's because I bought a microphone. I did it. I told you, I think I told you anyway last time that I wasn't going to do this yet, but I found it on Black Friday for about 60% off, and it's one that I've been looking at, so I really couldn't turn that down, so I figured I'd give it a shot. This time I've written down some notes to go by. I'm worried that I won't have the regular spontaneity of the other podcasts, but I'm going to give it a shot. We'll see if I can read my own handwriting or if I'll even understand what I wrote down. So yeah, let's jump right in. Recently I went to the Mall of America, and well, things have been changing a little bit. I went there to buy a bottle of soap. It was soap that I had tried once, and it was phenomenal soap. And it was the only place that I could find online where I'd be able to locally purchase it. So I went down there, and they had a bunch of Super Bowl rings on display. They didn't have all of them. It was, I don't know, probably 30 of them. And I really wanted to ask this middle-aged, dad-looking guy why none of the Vikings rings were there, but he looked like he might be crazy, so I didn't do that. But I went to Nordstrom's, or Nordstrom. I don't know if it's possessive or just stating their name. But anyway, I went there to buy this soap, and first off, it was huge, which kind of surprised me, but what surprised me even more was that there was like, fossil watches and things like that just sitting out on tables that weren't even being guarded. Like, they weren't in a display case or anything, and I was really confused because I thought for sure the Mall of America would be a place where a lot of theft takes place. But they just had all sorts of things laying out, and looking for the soap, I wasn't able to find it, and a woman came over and asked if she could help me. And I said, yeah, I'm looking for this soap. I'd found the brand, but I couldn't find the actual soap that I was looking for. So she looked it up on a computer, and she's like, here, I think it might be in cosmetics. Follow me. And she took me all the way across this. You can't even call it a building because the Mall of America itself is a building. All the way across the store. I think we even went up an escalator. If you can believe it. So she took me over to cosmetics, and we found the bottle, and it was really quite impressive because there was like 10,000 bottles of different things over there, and she found the specific thing I was looking for. And so I said, well, thank you, I appreciate it. And I was gonna look around because I don't think I've ever been in a Nordstrom before. And I was holding the bottle, and she said, well, I can ring you up right here. I was like, oh, that's all right. I was gonna look around a little while. She's like, oh, yeah, at what? It was just like, what do you care at what? I don't know. Suit jackets I can't afford? I don't, what's your problem? And as we were staying there, like 4 different cosmetics ladies came over and asked us if we needed help, which is interesting because that means that they didn't even recognize fellow employees there. But I kept trying to walk away, and the lady kept following me, and I realized that's how they stop people from stealing. They just assign you a babysitter the second you pick something up, and I didn't really like that. It doesn't seem like the best way to do business. So let me tell a probably billion-dollar company how to run their stores. But yeah, I just kind of was annoyed at that point, so she tried to sell me other things by the brand because I basically said I wasn't ready to leave yet, so she just tried to strike up a conversation. And she was saying that there was this lotion by the same brand that the way she described it was so unsettling. She said the first time that I used it, you apply it and then you wash your hands, and when you do that, it feels like your skin is coming off, but in a good way. And I was like, no thank you. I don't need lotion that's going to get me in trouble with the TSA. You're not going to fool me into buying this crap. I'm just going to take my $25 bottle of soap and leave. I'm no dummy. I did notice that she had weird teeth. That was the one thing I took away from her. Other than she was helpful at first and then just annoying, but she had weird teeth. Which really I'm one to talk because my teeth, they're just not. Well, I mean, I have teeth. They're just not. They're not anything to write home about. Which I don't know why you would be anyway. But my teeth, if you've never seen me, which if you've never seen me, I don't know why you'd be listening to this. But how do I describe was happening inside my mouth? Well, the front teeth, like my two front teeth and my lateral incisors there, they're just kind of flat. Like I got hit in the face with a pan. Like a pug should have these teeth. I have flat teeth in the front, but then like my canines are some kind of like, I don't know, like some kind of ogre vampire would have. The shape of my teeth overall is just kind of like the bat signal. Like, I kind of like them just because it's unique. It's just, like, they're not gross, I don't think, anyway. But they're just kind of unique. Like, sorry about that. By the way, I'm still getting used to having a microphone, so I don't know if I'm getting too close or if I'm too far away. But I think I'm staying at a proper distance. Anyway, my teeth are unique because I'm still on that. Like if I were to die in some horrible way, stay with me here, and the only way that I could be identified was by my teeth, you wouldn't even need dental records. You just need like a picture of me. And whoever was comparing the two would just be like, oh yeah, well obviously. There's no way that two people would have that kind of, like, 50% decent teeth and 50% train wreck going on in their mouth. Why is the word train wreck so fun? Comparing something to a train wreck. Shall I compare thee to a train wreck? My teeth. Like, if I were a criminal, the only thing that I'd really have to worry about, more so than fingerprints, would be to not leave any kind of dental evidence behind. Like at a crime scene, if the detective was like, alright, so the assailant entered the room over here. He stabbed the victim in this corner, and he exited through that window. And all he left behind was this half-eaten apple. That's stupid. Let's see, I mentioned pugs earlier, which I think are a very interesting animal. I'm kind of wondering how they came to be, in all honesty. Like, the two main thoughts on, well, anything really, as far as how anything came to be, would be 1, evolution, or 2, religion. And if you look at it in an evolution way, stumbling over my words because I'm trying to read my own stupid handwriting. If you look at it through evolution, how did that happen? Did like a terrier crossbreed with like an inchworm or a slinky? Or if you look at it in a religious way, did God just say like, okay, so take, that's not a good God voice. Okay, so take, that's not either. Okay, I'm God. I'm skinny, scrawny God who grew up in Osage, Iowa. Okay, so take this regular dog over here and stand him upright, have him look straight up, and then drop like a cartoon anvil on him. And that's how the pug was made if God was the one that did it. Dogs are weird. Dog instincts really strike me as quite fascinating, really. Like how dogs can pick up on like a tornado that's coming from miles away, like before we hear or feel anything. They can pick up on like a tornado or an earthquake. And that's interesting. And I think that people, honestly, I think that we have instincts as well. Like, I remember sitting next to someone in a college class who had a service dog. It was a really big golden retriever. Excuse me. And he was like the best, like the most well-behaved dog I've ever met in my life. And we sat at a table together, and the dog would lay at my feet. And because it was so well behaved, I didn't even. I'm getting mixed up on my notes. I shouldn't even try to read them at this point. But I didn't even notice the dog was there half the time until all of a sudden, like, I'd feel him move. I'd forget he was there, and I'd feel him move, and I'd feel like this instinct of like, that's at my foot. So I think that humans have instincts as well, because I've also, like, at work, I've come around the corner and seen, like, a German Shepherd service dog or a Doberman before, and, like, for a split second, I'm just like, oh. So I think humans have instincts as well, but, like, I think dog instincts are definitely better, because I think humans have some weird instincts that don't make any sense. For instance, have you ever been, like running across a parking lot before, like you're late for something, and a complete stranger is, I don't know, they're loading groceries into their car or something, and they stop what they're doing, and they look up at you, and they just yell like, run, 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 run! What human instinct is that? Like, they they look at you like, okay, so this guy's obviously having a rough morning. I better be a jerk. Hey, what are you, late or something? Yes. Yes, I am. I'm wearing slacks and Dockers running across asphalt. Clearly, I am not exercising. There's no bear behind me. I'm late. I feel like I had another human instinct to share, but I didn't write it down, and I'm trying to remember like a half hour worth of podcast material. So I'm going to go ahead and skip over. If I remember, I'll tell you later. I think it's interesting how people have service dogs that don't seem to be servicing anything. This lady recently brought a quote-unquote service dog into the Vision Center, and I'm not making any of this up either. It sounds like something you would see in a movie, but it wasn't. The dog, first off, the dog was overweight. It was walking with it was like it might have been a pug, but it was like a really small pug, and it was walking with its stomach hung only 2 inches off of the ground. It was an overweight dog, and it had a cast on one of its legs that it was dragging along with it. Which, I'm not making fun of the dog either. I honestly, if anytime I see a dog wearing a cast, which has been very few times, I feel really bad for it. But the fact that the lady was trying to pass this thing off as a service dog is so ridiculous. So it was overweight, it had a cast on its leg, and the way that it was breathing, I need to think of a good way to describe this. The way, oh, how do I do it? The way the dog was breathing was like if you're washing dishes and you wash a cup with a sponge that like just barely fits inside the cup. That noise of like that's how the dog was breathing. It had eyes that were that were bulging so badly. Oh, this poor dog. It didn't look like it had eye sockets. Like it looked like the eyes were just attached to the front of its face, and they were just barely hanging on by the retinas for dear life. Like I I don't think it had eyelids. And the way that its tongue was sticking out while it was like, and its eyes were bugged out. It looked like a frog. It looked like someone stepped onto like a cartoon frog, like it. Oh, the poor dog. And it was wearing a sweater vest, which I don't know if it was trying to impress me or on its way to a job interview, or maybe he was going to play poker. When actually, if you think about it, if he was going to play poker, he would have like a foolproof poker face, because I think every facial expression he has is pretty much just coming across as suffocating. And the lady asked me if I wanted to pet him, which first off, I don't think you're allowed to pet service animals, so there's another sign it was not a service dog to just pile onto the list. She asked if I wanted to pet it, and I said, no. I was afraid if I patted it too hard, his eyes might just pop out and roll across the floor like marbles. When she tried to leave, she started pulling on the leash and she was like, "Come on, Sparkles!" And the dog just looked at her like, and he looked back at me just and didn't move. And the woman came over and picked the dog up and walked away. That is not a helper dog. That is like a help me dog. That dog isn't helping anything. Except for this podcast. I have another story about dogs. I think I'm going to skip it, though. I need to fine-tune it a little bit before I share it. Again, I am sorry if my microphone manner is terrible, because it's the first time I've ever really used one. So I don't know if coming in like this and sounding seductive is funny, or if it sounds good, or if it's just blowing out your eardrums. I don't know. I just hit my head on... And again, I'm too close. I hit my head on a lamp shade. Okay. Lastly, I think I'm remembering everything. I'm going to be mad at myself if I didn't. Lastly, I just wanted to talk about Irish Carbombs. I'm trying to keep it a little bit short. So by writing down notes, I'm trying to keep track a little bit, because usually I'm all over the place, like blood at a murder scene. I'm just everywhere. That was gross. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about Irish Carbombs a little bit, because I think that they're disgusting, and I can't imagine why anybody would want to do that. I've had a couple friends who have tried to make me do it. There's one friend, the day of the McGregor-Mayweather fight, he said, "Well, Conor lost, we better drink this." And I was like, okay, what's happening here? What's in this? He said, okay, first, you take a pint of Guinness. And I'm just like, I'm already out. I hate Guinness. I don't like dark drinks for the most part. Like I like coffee, which is interesting because I don't like beers that taste like coffee, like the craft brew, coffee bean, whatevers. Or, so I like coffee, I like root beer, and that pretty much covers it. And, I don't know, like I like bitter beers, like I like IPAs and things like that. But I really just don't care for dark drinks. And in all fairness, the last time that I had a Guinness was on my 21st birthday, and I didn't know what beer was yet. So maybe it's not as bad as I remember it, but and I lost track. So anyway, he said, okay, so you take a pint of Guinness. And I was like, no, thank you. And he said, no, wait. You add a bunch of stuff to it, and then it curdles, and you chug it. How does that sound? I was like, positively rancid. That sounds so nasty. There was one time a long time ago, well, not a long time ago, but a few years ago, that another friend was trying to buy me one, and he's like, dude, you gotta try it. And he said, it's kind of expensive, but it's worth it. I was like, dude, it sounds gross. He's like, well, it did almost make me vomit the first time, but you should still try it. I said, that sounds terrible. And his brother heard me talking about it. He chimed in. And he said, oh, I don't think that there's all that much alcohol in it. I'm like, hold on. Let me see if I've got this straight. It's expensive. It tastes bad. It might make me vomit. And it won't get me drunk? Well, hey, why doesn't everybody drink these? And maybe later, if I'm hungry, I'll just purchase a compressed can of imported sewer air. Because, hey, it won't make me not hungry. It won't taste good. It might make me vomit. But at least it'll be expensive, right? My friend did buy me one the night of the Conor McGregor fight when he lost, which is interesting because I really didn't care that he lost. I just wanted to watch it because that seemed like the popular thing to do. And so he bought me one, and I drank about half of it, and the bar didn't even have what I think is one of the main ingredients in an Irish car bomb, which is Bailey's, stuff that makes it curdle. So we put like Kahlua. It was a bunch of disgusting stuff mixed into one cup, and I drank about half of it. I wasn't able to chug it all because I can't do that. I've never been able to take shots. Like, I can kind of drink it fast, but like the concept of the idea of being able to just like open up your mouth and open up your throat and just throw something back, and your throat's just fine with it. I don't understand how anybody can do that. Like you throw a shot back and your throat's just like, oh, hey, what's this? You want me to be a water slide? Okay. That's never been how my throat has worked, even for water. If like I try to throw a shot back like that, my throat's like, oh, hey, what was that? You want me to be a water slide? No, I'm gonna be a geyser. That's how my throat has worked when it comes to shots. That is everything that I've written down. I feel like I left out a lot of things. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go with it because I really don't care. This is just kind of a way to flex my comedic muscle. And if you liked it, tell your friends. If you didn't like it, don't tell your friends. Let them find it a different way. You know what? If you didn't like it, I really don't care because I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for me. So, I need some kind of a sign-off, and I don't know how to do these things. What's a good sign-off? Like, ka-chow! That's not even a sign-off, that's a catchphrase.